And 3, 2, 1.
I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside of you, baby. I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby.
Welcome back, Powerheads. We're about to wrap up Ghost Book 2, Season 2, the season finale. And they came with it, didn't they?
Man, did they? Did they?
So your boy is blinging out. You know, he's on his big yacht in the middle of, I don't know what that body of water is sitting in New York, but they look like they're chilling.
Maybe it's the Manhattan River.
Yeah, Monet has these big old giant African earrings on, which, I kind of admire how they look, but they're creating mad drips in her earlobe. And I'm just sitting there waiting on a nail's edge for it to rip right through her lobe.
They look like door knockers. Look like, you know what I'm saying? Do.
Yeah, but why didn't they get the light joints, man? It was like this. Look.
All those diamonds, man, with a lot of drip.
I guess. I mean, you could do some cubic zirconias or something like that. Dr. Spock in reverse. Your boy Reek is sitting at the crib. You know, he's sneaking up on the phone, trying to call Lauren, make sure she's okay. And then Effie's like, I'm here every step of the way with you. Why are you worried about Lauren? You know, she's going to be all right. And then he starts freaking out. Everybody dies around him. And who is he the most worried about at this point?
He's worried about a lot of people. He's worried about 1, Lauren, 2, Yaz, 3, Effie. I mean, it's a lot of people that he's worried about because he's like, everybody that's around me, like something happened. He's like, man, I can't keep letting this happen.
And then he said, if I go in, can you help find Yaz? And then she's like, you would trust me to do that? And of course, the easy answer would be no, because you killed Lauren. But she's like, yes, you're one of the 2 people I can trust. And she's like, oh, this is like heart is crumbling at that point.
She's feeling horrible, right? She's feeling terrible. She's like, damn, she's like, I killed Lauren. And he doesn't know.
So it's kind of rough right there. So she's trying to soldier through it. Meanwhile, at court, and your boy Tariq's coming up the stage and they're like, hey, look, Trace is going to testify. You know, what do you know about Trace and how is he involved in all this? And he's like, okay, so here's what happened. He stole some pills that Kane gave to Brayden, and then to get revenge, Kane put both Brayden and Trace out in the street to sell some drugs to get the money back. So they were like, Sax was getting all upset. And, you know, he always gets like so wussy and snippy with your boy Tariq. And he was like, well, where were you? And he was like, I was with your snitch ass niece, Riley. And then your boy McLean Davis was like, oh, good. We can use that. And your boy Sax like, no. Open up a can of worms. So that was hilarious.
See that man, her mother still ain't talking to me yet.
All right, so they roll up in the court. And wait a minute. Jenny McCarthy is pulling the old bait and switch again. This is maybe the 3rd time when she's changed up witnesses or statements or anything like that. And I don't know why immediately, especially with Judge Lucas, that this wasn't kicked out immediately when she did that move. But he's like, we're running out of time, I'll allow it. And then so Brayden takes the stand and Tariq is sweating bullets. He's remembering all the stuff that he told Brayden. And Brayden takes the stand. But what does he do? Man,
Brayden held it down because guess what? He had already signed that immunity deal that basically once I get up here, I'm immune to what, you know what I mean? Like there ain't nothing you can do to me. So he's like, cool, I'm going to cop to it all. Here's my name on the paperwork. I was the drug dealer that Jabari Parker was talking about. Everything.
In Choke and Stansfield. So that completely cleans up Tariq's image in the world. Yeah. So that was dope. As Kane would say, 10 toes down. All right, so now we move up to your boy Mecca, you know, and he's trying to work his little magic on Zeke. And
global snitching?
The GOAT. The D to the O to the A to the T.
Snitching.
I guess being a global snitch pays off well, because he's got like Ferraris and all sorts of Maseratis and all. I didn't see a McLaren though, so I was a little upset about that part. But he had
that Porsche gave Zeke was nice though.
Yeah, it was. So he just go ahead and, buy Zeke a little bit with it. Mecca just explained it to Zeke that Monet, it may seem like lies and deception, but Monet really loves him. And I like Zeke's jacket. My son's an artist. And I was like, that was fly. And I like the little creative statements. If you look, they had all these different painting type of deals or decals on the jacket, which is like a nice black camel hair joint. But then on here, they had a box for a vial of something. You in the pharmacy companies and stuff, you know what a vial box looks like. And they had smashed the vial box and they put it right here. And I swear to God, you won't believe how many different camera angles I tried to go ahead and figure out what that vial said, the box said. But, I couldn't do it. So it is what it is. But that was a dope ass jacket.
And an interesting casting twist. Both Zeke and Mecca are father and son, but both actors are Daniels.
Now we got Monet, and she's talking to Kane because that's what Mecca wants. She's like, you got to kill Zoe. And he's like, you asking me to kill my dad? And then she starts just breaking it down on him. She's like, okay, he gave the biz to Drew when you should be next in line. You the oldest. We had to feed ourselves. He cut us off. We had to feed ourselves with course correct. And Zoe shot at me. So at this point, she's layering it down on him. And guess what? He's still not convinced.
But none of that did it because guess what? Just like everyone else, they are so obsessed with fucking Tariq. It is unbelievable. The second she's like, Tariq killed his father. Now all of a sudden, Kane turned into the hardest dude in the world. Now all of a sudden he's ready to do it. Because he's like, I cannot let this little dude have one up on me.
You killed your dad? I can kill my dad better than you killed your dad. I'm going to kill my dad. I'm going to bury him, dig him up, and kill him again.
I don't never want no haters like Kane. Look, that's a hell of a hater right there. But I don't need no haters like Kane.
Meanwhile, they're hashing it out. Tariq and your boy McClain Davis are hashing it out after the fact. And they're sitting up there and in the office. And he's like, I want a refund. He's like, because Brayden saved my ass, you didn't. And he's like, oh, go ahead and make your complaint. But you'd have to tell them that you and Kane are guilty. And he's like, you're going to have to keep hustling. Now, why is he telling them to keep hustling? Number one, because he has good rationale for what he's saying as a lawyer. He's saying that the Tejadas are going to keep him in the game. But why is he really saying that?
He just wants some money, and he needs that money to keep coming in to fund his brother's case that he really brought Sachs in for in the first place. The Tariq case was just cherry on top to everything, but the real cake is getting his brother out for what, in my opinion, is probably something that he actually did and his brother took the fall.
What's the big hint on that?
The big hint on that was when they said that the shooter was actually 4 inches taller than his brother. When they were at the end of the episode, when they were in jail talking, he joked about being 4 inches taller than him.
There it is. Yeah. So definitely Mecca pulled the trigger or shot or did anything, whatever it was, he was the guilty party. And it was like, okay, you're the smart dude. You can go to law school and you got a bigger hip hop career. So go ahead and do your thing.
You got a bigger hip hop career. Come on, man. Yeah, keep this in the Power universe.
All right. So then Jenny meets up with Sachs after, their whole court case just got shredded. Well, Jenny's whole court case got shredded. And he tried to still get his little knobbies in and whatnot. She was like, nah, get out of here. But then she meets him after she realized where he goes every time they had a triumphant victory back in the day when they was on her side. And so she meets him there and she's like, I failed Lauren. We pressured her and, but I let go of the protective custody and I put it on Carrie. And she's dead now. She died. She died in a car accident with a bunch of money. It's definitely proven that Effie did offer, and she just made it look like a car accident. That's the only difference.
I don't know. Lauren died in a car accident. That's what I know. I don't know. But what I do know, though, is that I think there was a big thing that McClain Davis did at the end of that case right there. And he made sure that when he said that the case was dismissed, that it was dismissed with prejudice. She wanted it dismissed without prejudice. And the reason why is because if it's dismissed without prejudice, then she can bring back another case against him because it was dismissed, he wasn't acquitted. If it's with prejudice, then she can't bring back another case on the same, she can't bring back the same case again. She has to come at him with a completely different case, and obviously, as long as you don't rack up any more bodies,
everybody walks.
Exactly, everybody walks.
Your boy Sax breaks down, and I'm like, oh, okay. I think maybe this is part of his whole Mac move, kind of like the way Diana was fessing up a lot of real stuff that was going on with her family when she was about to rip Tariq off. But your boy Sax is like giving up a bunch of stuff. And, you know, he's probably got some slimy ulterior motives to stay in Jenny's drawers because that's the only one who will screw him consistently, or probably pretty much at all.
Yeah, pretty much at all.
Pretty much at all. He has had no love life outside of Jenny at all, other than making snide little comments on Angela. And we all see how that worked out. So basically, he confesses to her that, you know, he was just tired of seeing all his colleagues go down and all this stuff. And he doesn't really say what the real motive was. The fact that he wanted Angela and Ghost came in and swooped Angela. But he was like saying, oh, you're taking my colleagues down. And, you know, that's why I planted evidence on him and all this other stuff. He was jealous, man. He was straight up jealous.
He was jealous, but also he was sick and tired of shooting and missing, you know, at Ghost. That's why he told her, he was like, yeah, maybe you should just back off. He's like, this could be bad for your career, because he knows how bad it was for his career because he dealt with it. He did it. He planted evidence. I mean, hell, we all know he was on his way to kill Ghost, happened to get beat by Tariq.
That's it. We back at Stansfield, and we're in the boys' rooms and stuff, and, you know, they're chopping it up. We have a real Crockett and Tubbs moment. You know, I don't know if you guys remember that from Miami Vice, where there's all this bonding and all that stuff. Tariq was like, yo, man, you really stood it up for me and all that. And everything's going on. And guess who comes busting in the door, calling him Dumber and Dumber?
Fucking Kane.
But what I gotta say, Kane has the best one-liners of anybody in the Power Universe.
Yes. Yes.
So he's like, all right, Dumber and Dumber, y'all still leave the door unlocked. So he comes in there and he's like, yeah, boy, I heard you held it down. Did you really hold it down? And then without your boy Brayden actually confessing to being involved with any of that stuff with Lauren, he was like, yeah, I held it down. But do you really think he knew at this point that Lauren was dead?
I think he knew, obviously, he was supposed to kill Lauren.
Right.
Kane had already told him to. He knew Effie came, and Effie showed up because she knew he wasn't capable. And so he knew Lauren was dead, but he didn't do it. And so that's why he was very much so like, when Kane kind of, oh, did you do the other thing we was talking about? Yeah, taken care of. And he's like,
so let me get out of here.
Exactly. Get the hell out of here.
Right. So then, but before he left though, before Kane even came in, I skipped this part. Your boy was like talking to Brayden, and he was like, you know, so our stash got took, didn't it? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, so who was the last two people to go ahead and access the lockers? And he said, according to your card, it was you. So he knew at this point that Diana was dirty and just dogged him out.
No, he knew.
Yeah. So Brayden's rolling out. So they're having their conversation, Kane and Tariq. And according to Monet's instructions, you know, Tariq is convincing them, you know, I've killed my dad. You know, you got to go ahead and do the same thing. But once you do it, you know, you got to understand you're never going to be the same again. But he's also operating on the same principles. I mean, he's just playing the role right now, ain't he?
He is, because obviously, you know, as we find out, he never planned on, you know, actually letting Kane go through and killing Lorenzo. He just needed Kane to be oblivious because he needed Mecca to believe that he was going to kill Lorenzo. I do. The plan got a little bit too complicated, but you know he needed that believability, because otherwise Kane would have been dead, because Mecca could pick up on anything.
Yeah, no doubt. Here we go to the spinoff up in the Gentleman's Club, and your boy Stephen Ott is talking to Sweetie, and they were like talking about the photo, and he was like, oh, I'll have your finest scotch. Your boy Rashad is in the background, and he's having a seat. And then he was like, I think it's time for you to step down. And then, so he's like, I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. And then Rashad is like, oh, nigga? the nigga.
Oh, he was getting ready to say it. Rashad Tate just beat him to it.
He did. He was like, the one's about to take your job. All right. And he's like, now that you understand that I'm in the king chair and you're settling down a little bit, here's what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and step into your role. You're going to go ahead and take some time off. And this was actually Stephen Ott's machination on this. Yeah. And you're going to take some time off and you're going to say, you lost a relative, you found Jesus, whatever. And then you're going to endorse Rashad. And then Rashad's going to move in. And then Rashad steps in and he's like, and then when I move in, when you come back in the fold, like about 6 months later, when everybody's, I forgot everything, it's all died down, we can go ahead and endorse you for a house enroll in the Senate. And then Stephen Ott's like, yeah. So, it's like they do the tag team on him. And I'm starting to wonder about Stephen Ott. It's like, is he really good old boys with Sweeney? Or does he actually admire Rashad's gumption? Or what is going on with that?
No, I think Stephen Ott is the type of person, he's looking out for the party and he doesn't give a damn about anybody else. And he's like, hey, look, if this picture comes out, it's going to be bad for the party. I don't really care whether I like, Rashad Tate or not. This is the play at hand. This is the best way for this to go down. You got to step down as governor, endorse Rashad Tate, but I'm going to get you in the Senate on the back end.
Your boy Tariq, and that was not really Monet's plan. It was Tariq's plan. He devised this whole scheme. So he's talking to Drew. He's probably can't stand to see Diana's face at this point. So he talks to Drew about the whole situation. And he's like, 3-card money, we're going to play 3-card bag with the bag that Mecca needs. I know what's in it, but I'm not going to tell you what's in it. But what's happening is neither one of y'all are going to have what's in it. You're going to have a bag, and Zoe's going to have a bag. And then when the time is right, I'm going to tell Diana where to get the real bag. And then he's like, well, where's she going to get it from? And he's like, the same place that you guys stole my drugs from. So your boy Drew is a little molded at this point. He's like, and then your boy is like, don't worry about that. And so they're moving forward and stuff like that. And, so that's a sign of maturity, how he just kind of let stuff go for the greater good. They put the plan in motion and they're sitting outside the drop and they go inside. Now, meanwhile, just as suspected, and this is where Monet's street smarts came in, Mecca has everybody divided. So he's got McVeigh and Carlito Timberlake and all these other guys who are doing the surveillance stuff. Remember I told you Carlito looked like Justin Timberlake because there's a little 5 o'clock shadow? So,
okay.
So he's like, who is Carlito Timberlake? So they got everybody with their eyes on everybody and they're tracking different people trying to figure out what's going on with these bags. So the meet gets set up. Zoe's up in there. He's got the bag. He puts it on the side. McVeigh tells the other dude who's with the whole Mecca team to go ahead and check out the bag. Then your boy Kane and your boy Tariq get ready to do the shoot. Get ready to shoot Zoe. But what does Tariq say?
He was like, Joe, he knows we're here. We just needed you to believe that you were going to do this. But the real plan is you're taking out all Mecca's people.
There you go. So he's like, I don't got to kill my dad. And he's a happy feet, ain't he?
Oh my God, because he was looking shook when he put that gun up.
Right. He was like Monet when she put the gun up to Tommy. All of a sudden, it becomes a firefight. And the thing breaks out. Basically, Tariq is killing more people. So he's just adding up his body count. I'm not sure if Kane even got anybody. He got like one person, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think Zoe probably had the highest body count in that scene. And so they get out of there. And next thing you know, Kane is like, oh man, I gotta go find Drew. So meanwhile, Drew is responding to your boy Everett to send him a text because remember, he stole the key card from Everett so that Diana can get him in there where they can do the little drug snatch from Tariq. So with that, he's like, they kind of explain it away. He kind of explains it away a little bit, but then your boy Everett was like, I'm called to practice. And then you already know your boy Drew is a little bit too vulnerable right now. He said, have a good practice. And I was like, oh no, that's not gangster. Something's about to jump off.
I think it's crazy because he's like, oh, look, like my key card was used to access a restricted area. And he's like, bro, you call me down here for this? You call me down here for this?
Right. It's like, I'm busy trying to kill and not kill my dad.
But instead of asking him why he put him down there for that, he just needed to have been like, he should never gone. Deal with the plan first. Go deal with your boyfriend on the back end.
That's what I'm talking about.
No pun intended.
Then we hit.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, we hearing the Timberlake beats in the background. And then it's like, cry me a river. And your boy Carlito Timberlake is in the house again. And he's like, oh, you got a fake bag too. So what's really going on here? And they start whipping his ass. And then, so next thing you know, he's like, oh, y'all sold us out. He's like, look, why go ahead and work for the distro when you can work for the Connect? And you kind of figured out, like, they was working too chummy, him and your girl Rocky. They was working on the same team. Something was going to happen. So, you got that. I don't think Rocky's smashing none of these dudes, but the point is, it's like they're from Mecca's team and they work together for this little run. So should have known something.
For sure.
Yeah. So they waxing him, and your boy Kane comes to the rescue, and he's like, first of all, it's like these guys. I don't know what these Tejadas pack in their hands, but they must be like just walking around the street with rolls of quarters, because when your boy just started rocking and rolling on your boy Carlito, he was crying a river for show, river of blood. Everyone was like this and whatnot. And then so Drew was trying to hang with the other dude, and then of course your boy came in there and did the soccer kick. Kane did and took him out finally completely.
I was gonna say, I thought the Super Bowl was next week, but it looked like Adam Vinatieri kicked the field goal. I literally thought it was next week, but I could be mistaken.
No, I think you were right on that one. It's an extra point for sure. No, might be three. I think you're right. I think it's 3.
It was the same Tom Brady in one of the Super Bowls. Don't worry. It was Adam Vinatieri. It was drive. Kane Tejada, aka Adam Vinatieri, comes through with the 52-yard field goal to win the game, because he kicked his face, and I felt it when I was watching.
Last time I saw that was in Georgetown. They got a guy. They threw him out. The bouncer threw him out in the street, and this other dude just came and soccer kicked the mess out of him. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting involved in that one. I was like, that's your fault. So meanwhile, the whole Daniel pops up, lawyer Daniel. He pops up, says that we've stopped the adoption. And then next thing you know, who do we see? Sitting at the table in the woods.
Tasha's at the cabin.
And then so she's like knocking on the door, special delivery. And it's like, wait a minute. I mean, she's out there in the middle of the woods. She's on WITSEC and stuff, and she's supposed to answer the door for special delivery. She does everything she's supposed to do, call these people. They're like, get the bag, get the gun, be out. She's about to roll out. And then she stops. She's like, that voice sounds familiar. And it's Tamika.
And Tamika called her by her WITSEC name, not her original government name. So she kind of knew, like, well, Tamika, she's been around.
I can't go with that one, because if they found out where she was at, they knew her fake name.
But I think that was their way of, because if they had come up there and they'd been like, oh, it's Tasha St. Patrick, I think Tasha would start shooting at the door. But going in there calling her by her
I think she recognized Tamika's voice. I
think so too, but that don't mean that Tamika wasn't compromised. Tamika knew her WITSEC, information and location, and it was Tamika. I think it was like the combination of everything together.
Like that delicious snack combos. I get paid for that. Your girl, she pops up and she's with Olivia, who used to be known as...
Yes.
I feel like I'm on a RuPaul show. Everybody's like, yes. So then it's like, Tariq's there. He wants to get out. They're like, no, don't do that stuff. So there it is. So meanwhile, your boy is trying to do the mop up. Your boy Zoe is like, all the mission is over. But as far as he knows, Monet took off with this dude, Mecca, aka Dante. He's in the breeze, and he's like, I'm gonna kill both of them. So he rose to the jet, and he's like, Mecca, because guess what? Well, no, he knows that Mecca's Dante. So I guess the dude had a big jacket on and just happened to be 6 inches taller, and he didn't get it.
Powerism.
Yep, there you go. And he popped like 3 or 4 in his back when he was getting onto the airplanes. He was actually going to roll out with Mecca and Monet, if they were rolling out. So, even though he knew Monet, did carry dirty, he was just like, what Mecca told me, makes me think, and I really want a dad. So, he's about to get in there.
I think we need to talk about the fact that why is he dead? Because Diana, 1, looked in the bag, and 2, ran her damn mouth again to Lorenzo. Because all she does is run her mouth.
That's it.
She's such a daddy's girl. Kane's such a mama's boy. Drew caught in the middle. You know, now Zeke dead. I think we're setting up for like a Tejada family civil war for season 3 because like it's getting real one-sided over here.
I think Tariq knew exactly what he was saying when he told Drew to tell Diana not to look in the bag because she would not be able to resist that. Yeah. I'm not supposed to look in the bag. I'm gonna look in the bag. I'm sure he didn't want Zeke to die, but he knew that he would get Diana into trouble some way.
One, that, but two, I think what he thought was that it was an insurance policy that, you know, that Mecca would get killed because he knew Diana would snitch to Lorenzo. And if Monet didn't do it, Lorenzo would do it. So he knew it was kind of like a double insurance. It was an insurance policy.
Your boy is coming back to the house. Everybody else is in the house waiting. Where's Zoe? He comes up in there and he has the Mr. Roper face, doghouse face, where you knew you done messed up and your wife about to kill you. So I want you, Mr. Etherly, to get used to this face. And here it is. See the little twitch? That's the doghouse face where you know it's coming.
Because he knew right away. The second they said that Mecca was killed in his penthouse, woo, Zoe's face was like,
I killed her son. And meanwhile, she ends up finding out about it at the end, so that was pretty foul.
And for those who really feel the PowerWatch, you know how we figured it out here. There wasn't that triumphant, weak music at the end. So sure enough, guess what? They got some grainy footage from the penthouse of who was downstairs in the lobby. And it is Rick Picks, a.k.a. Rick Picks. But I like Rick Picks better. And guess who sees it? Ball called Jacobs.
So that's pretty much the end of that ep. Wow, this was kind of gruesome because we got another episode coming up. We're going to hit you guys over on the flip side. I always just wanted to say that. We're going to hit you on the flip side with the young Tommy Force debut. And until 5 minutes from now, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot, guys.
See you on the flip.
Yes. I feel like I'm on a RuPaul show. Everybody's like, yes.
I've never been on a RuPaul show, but yes, I did.
Yeah, you've seen a commercial. Thank you.
He should never gone. Deal with the plan first. Go deal with your boyfriend on the back end.
That's what I'm talking about.
No pun intended.
Then we hit.
Sorry. Dylan, you have to edit that out.
No.
That's 100% staying in.
It's in there. That is hilarious. Are we gonna put that on the blooper or are we gonna put that on the regular reel?
That's the hard decision, but I'll have to make it.
I'm gonna leave that one up to the visit.